The machines beep in steady rhythm. Beep, beep, beep. Robert Mitchell's eyes flutter open to harsh fluorescent lights. His throat burns like sandpaper. Something plastic presses against his face, an oxygen mask. He tries to lift his hand to remove it, but his arm weighs 1,000 pounds. Dad. The voice cuts through the fog. Sarah. His daughter's face swims into focus. Mascara streaked down her cheeks, hair matted against her head, clothes wrinkled like she'd slept in them. No, like she hadn't slept at all. Dad, can you hear me? Her hand squeezes his, almost too tight. Don't try to talk. Just squeeze back if you understand. He manages a weak pressure. Sarah's shoulders shake, and she drops her forehead onto their joined hands. Hot tears splash against his knuckles. Thank God, she whispers. Thank you, God. The door creaks. A small figure stands in the doorway. Tommy, clutching his stuffed dinosaur, the green T-Rex Robert bought him last Christmas. The boy's eyes are puffy and red. Grandpa. The word comes out tiny. Scared. Sarah lifts her head, quickly wiping her face. Come here, sweetheart. It's okay. Grandpa's awake. Tommy takes 3 small steps into the room, then stops. Is he going to be okay now? Yes, baby. He's going to be fine. But Robert sees the tremor in Sarah's smile, the way her free hand grips the bed rail until her knuckles turn white. Whatever happened to him, whatever landed him in this bed with tubes and wires and machines, it was bad, very bad. He tries to remember. There was Tommy's birthday party, the backyard, the grill. Then nothing, a blank space where memory should be. Dr. Park appears in the doorway, chart in hand. The man looks exhausted, stubble darkening his jaw. He sees Robert's open eyes, and something shifts in his expression, relief mixed with something else. Surprise, maybe. Mr. Mitchell, he says, moving to the bedside, welcome back. You gave us quite a scare. Robert tries to speak. Only a croak emerges. Don't strain yourself. Your body's been through a significant trauma. Do you remember what happened? Robert's eyes move to Sarah. She's crying again, but silently now, tears rolling down her cheeks as she clutches his hand. Dad, you almost... She can't finish? 3 weeks? You've been unconscious for 3 weeks? 3 weeks? That can't be right. It was just Tommy's birthday. Just yesterday, wasn't it? Tommy inches closer to the bed. Mom said you got sick from a bug bite. But not a regular bug, a really bad one that got inside you. Sarah smooths Tommy's hair. Something like that, sweetheart. Dr. Park checks the monitors, making notes. The infection nearly went systemic. MRSA methicillin-resistant at Staphylococcus aureus, one of the most aggressive cases I've seen in 15 years. It started from... He pauses, glancing at Sarah. A pimple, Sarah says, her voice hollow. It started from a pimple on your back. Dad, just a regular pimple you tried to pop yourself? Robert's eyes widen. A pimple. He's lying here, apparently having nearly died. From a pimple. The infection entered through the broken skin, Dr. Park explains. By the time you collapsed at your grandson's party, it had spread through your bloodstream. We had to perform emergency surgery to remove the necrotic tissue. 3 surgeries, actually. Robert's mind reels. 3 surgeries, 3 weeks unconscious, all from something so small, so insignificant, he barely remembered it. Sarah's phone buzzes. She glances at it. It's Marcus. He's been calling every day from Dallas. Mike, too. Coach Williams drove down from Tucson twice. Dad, everyone's been praying for you. The whole church, your old team. She keeps talking,
But Robert's not really listening anymore. He's thinking about that morning 3 weeks ago, or was it 3 weeks, when he noticed that small bump on his back. How he dismissed it, handled it like he'd handled everything else in his 58 years on his own, without fuss, without asking for help. Tommy tugs on Sarah's sleeve. "Mom, can I show Grandpa my pictures?" "Later, baby. Grandpa needs to rest." But Robert squeezes Sarah's hand. He wants to see them, needs to see them.
These pieces of the time he lost, the life that went on while he lay here fighting an invisible war he didn't even know he was waging. Sarah helps Tommy onto the chair beside the bed. The boy opens his dinosaur backpack and pulls out a stack of crayon drawings. Hearts, stick figures, get well grandpa in shaky 7-year-old handwriting. "I made one every day," Tommy says proudly. "Mom said it would help you get better." 21 pictures. 21 days his grandson drew for him while machines kept him breathing. Robert's eyes blur, not from the medication, from understanding. Finally, how close he came to missing all of this, all of them, forever, because of a pimple, because of pride, because asking for help seemed harder than handling it himself. The machines continue their steady rhythm, but now Robert hears something else in them, not just mechanical noise, but a reminder. Each beep a second chance, each breath a gift he almost threw away. Before we continue, please leave a like and subscribe. Let me know which city you're watching from. Now, let's get back to the story. 5:30 a.m. The digital clock's red numbers burn through the darkness. Robert's eyes open before the alarm. His hand reaches out, presses the button, shouts. His feet hit the cold tile. The Phoenix apartment still feels wrong after 6 months. No creaking floorboards like the Texas house. No Margaret humming in the bathroom while she got ready. The spare bedroom serves as a gym now. One bench, a rack of dumbbells, a mirror that shows a man holding on to what he was. His shoulders crack as he positions himself under the bar. 1, 2, 3. The counting keeps his mind empty. 25, 26. His lower back tightens. 30. Done. Push-ups next. His palms press against the rubber mat. Down, up, up. The rhythm familiar as breathing. Sweat drips onto the mat. Little dark circles spreading. Kitchen. 3 eggs in the pan. 2 pieces of wheat toast. Black coffee in the same mug he's used for 15 years. Westfield Tigers, state champions, 2018. The newspaper stays folded. The TV stays dark. Just him and the sound of his own chewing. The phone vibrates against the granite counter. "Yeah, morning." "Sunshine." Mike's voice, gravel, and Texas dust. "You sound cheerful. What do you want?" "Mike, can't a man check on his friend?" Robert takes another bite of toast. "You called yesterday, and you didn't answer." "I was busy." "Doing what?" "Staring at cactuses, cacti, whatever." "Listen, Robert, Westfield's looking for an assistant coach, defense coordinator. Patterson's retiring." The coffee tastes bitter. Robert sets the mug down. "I'm done with that." "You're 58, not dead." "I said I'm done. Your daughter can't be worth—" Robert hangs up. The kitchen falls silent again. Through the window, a road runner pecks at something in the parking lot. The desert stretches beyond, all brown and thorns. He opens his laptop. Youth football coaching positions. Phoenix area. The same listings as yesterday and the day before. Volunteer positions mostly. Nothing that matters. Nothing that would fill the hole that 35 years of Friday night lights left behind. 6 p.m. Sarah's house smells like garlic and basil. Tommy barrels into Robert's legs before he's through the door. Grandpa Mom made lasagna, the kind with the cheese on top. Robert's hand finds the boy's head. ruffles his hair. That's so. Sarah appears from the kitchen, dish towel over her shoulder. Her eyes scan his face. Dad, you okay? You look tired. I'm fine. You sure? You seem... Sarah, I'm fine. She watches him another moment. Then Tommy's pulling him toward the living room, chattering about robots and something about a kid named Jacob. And Sarah turns back to the kitchen, but Robert catches his reflection in the hallway mirror as Tommy drags him past. The overhead light throws shadows under his eyes. His cheeks look hollow. When did that happen? His lower back throbs. Just a muscle, nothing more. The hot water beats against Robert's shoulders. Planet Fitness, 7:15 a.m. February 25th, the shower stall's too narrow. His elbows hit the walls when he reaches for the soap. Everything in Phoenix is smaller than Texas. Cramped. He rolls his shoulder. Something pulls along his back. Near the shoulder blade, his hand reaches around, fingers searching. There, a bump. Hard, like a pebble under the skin. Robert twists, trying to see in the foggy mirror mounted on the tile wall. Can't get the angle. He steps out of the spray, wipes the mirror with his palm, turns his body. Still can't see it. The thing sits exactly where he can't reach properly, can't see no matter how he contorts. His finger presses it firm, maybe the size of a pencil eraser. The skin around it feels hot. Another gym member enters the shower area, young guy, 30s maybe, earbuds in. Robert turns back to face the wall, lets the water run over his face. Nobody wants to see an old man examining himself in a public shower. Back in the locker room, Robert pulls on his shirt. The cotton catches on the bump. He adjusts, pulls the fabric away, but it settles back, pressing against the spot, irritating. Home. Robert stands in his bathroom, shirt off, trying the mirror dance again. 2 mirrors, medicine cabinet, and the wall mirror. If he angles them just right. There, a glimpse of angry red skin with a white center. Looks like a pimple, just a pimple. The medicine cabinet holds Band-Aids, ibuprofen, antacid. No acne medications. Why would he have that at 58? He finds a pair of tweezers in the drawer, reaches back, feeling for the bump. The metal scrapes against it, can't get a grip. The angle's all wrong. His shoulder cramps from the twisted position. Kitchen. Robert opens the junk drawer, finds the back scratch of wooden, shaped like a tiny hand. Margaret bought it at some craft fair years ago. The wooden fingers drag across the bump. Better. He scratches harder. The relief immediate. Then the sting follows. Wet warmth on the back scratcher's fingers. Blood, just a drop. That evening, Sarah's house. Robert sits at the dinner table, weight shifted to his left side. The bump throbs against the chair back. Dad, you keep moving around, Sarah says, setting down the salad bowl. Your back bothering you? Slept wrong. You should use that heating pad I gave you. I'm fine. Tommy runs in from the living room, toy football in hand. Grandpa, can we play catch? After dinner, Sarah says. But Mom, after dinner. They eat. Robert's shirt feels damp where it touches the bump. He reaches back, casual-like, adjusting the fabric. Sarah's eyes track the movement. You sure you're okay? Sarah, stop fussing. After dinner, Robert stands in Sarah's backyard. Tommy throws the football wobbly spirals that Robert has to lunge for. Each catch sends a spike of heat across his back. Sweat soaks through his shirt more than the mild evening warrants. One more. Grandpa? Robert's hands shake slightly as he returns the throw. The ball falls short. Tommy scoops it up, grins. You tired, Grandpa. Getting old, buddy. Back at his apartment, Robert peels off his shirt in the bathroom, twists to look. The mirror shows him only the edge redder now, the white center larger. Angry looking, 2 a.m. Robert lies on his stomach, but the pressure hurts. He turns onto his side. The sheets feel too hot. He kicks them off. 5 minutes later, pulls them back up, shivering. The medicine cabinet has ibuprofen. He takes 3, lies back down. 3:10 a.m., wide awake. The bump pulses with his heartbeat. Tomorrow he'll get some antibiotic cream. The pharmacy opens at 8. He'll stop by after the gym. He reaches back, touches the spot gingerly. The skin feels tight, swollen, bigger than before. But that's normal. Right. Pimples always get worse before they get better. In the darkness, something wet seeps through his undershirt, sticking the fabric to his skin. March 1st, Toop. The Phoenix sun hammers down on Sarah's backyard, 91 degrees, according to the thermometer hanging on the patio wall. Robert stands at the grill, spatula in hand. Smoke rises from the charcoal, stings his eyes. 20 hamburger patties sizzle on the grates. His shirt clings to his back, soaked through. The spot between his shoulder blades burns like someone's pressing a lit cigarette against the skin. He shifts his weight. The concrete wavers under his feet. Mr. Mitchell, a woman's voice. Karen something, mother of one of Tommy's friends. You don't look so good. Robert flips a burger. Grease spatters, hits his forearm. He doesn't flinch, can barely feel it through the fog that's been building since morning. Just the heat, he says. His tongue feels thick. Karen steps closer. She's wearing scrubs, must have come straight from work. I'm a nurse at Scottsdale General. Your color's off. When did you last drink water? I'm fine. But his hand trembles as he reaches for the next burger. The spatula slips. He catches it, metal hot against his palm. Let me get you some water. Karen doesn't wait for an answer. Heads toward the house. The yard tilts. Robert grips the edge of the grill table. The metal burns his palms, but he holds on. Kids run past, screaming, laughing. Their voices sound underwater, far away. Tommy appears at his elbow. Grandpa, Mom says it's cake time. Robert looks down at his grandson. The boy's face blurs, doubles, snaps back into focus. Give me a minute, buddy. But the ice cream's melting. Sarah calls from the patio. Dad, you coming? Robert lets go of the table, takes a step. His knee buckles slightly, but he catches himself. Another step. The yard stretches impossibly long. Parents and kids gathered around the picnic table. The birthday cake, chocolate with blue frosting. Tommy's favorite, sits in the center. 7 candles waiting. The sun pounds against his skull. Sweat runs into his eyes. Salt burning. His back is on fire now, the pain spreading down his spine, across his ribs. He reaches the table, parents singing, Tommy bouncing in his chair. Make a wish. Someone shouts. Robert reaches for the cake to move it closer to Tommy. His vision tunnels, darkness creeping in from the edges. The cake plate, white ceramic. Margaret's set. How did it get to Phoenix? Weighs 100 pounds. The plate slips, falls. The crash comes from far away. Chocolate and blue frosting explode across the concrete. Someone screams. Maybe Sarah, maybe one of the kids. Robert's knees hit the patio. The impact jars his teeth. His palms slam down, skin scraping against concrete. He tries to push himself up. Can't. Arms won't work. Dad. Sarah's face appears inches from his. When did he end up on his side? Dad. What's wrong? He opens his mouth. No words come, just a wheeze. Karen's hands on his neck, checking his pulse. Call 911 now. What's happening? Sarah's voice breaks. What's wrong with him? His pulse is racing. He's burning up. Karen's fingers probe the lymph nodes in his neck. How long has he been sick? I didn't know, Dad. Can you hear me? Tommy stands 3 feet away, crying. The sound cuts through the fog. Robert tries to reach for him, tries to say it's okay. His hand won't move. His mouth won't work. Everyone back up. Go ahead. Give him air. Karen's voice, commanding now, professional. Sarah, keep Tommy away. But now, sirens. When did someone call them? The sound grows louder. Robert's eyes won't stay open. The concrete feels cool against his cheek, better than the fire eating through his back. "Stay with me, Mr. Mitchell." Karen's hand on his shoulder. "The ambulance is almost here." The sirens scream closer, gates opening, footsteps pounding, radio chatter, male, approximately 60, collapsed at a party. High fever, unresponsive. Unresponsive, Robert tries to speak, to show them he's here. He can hear them. Nothing happens. Hands lift him, straps across his chest. The stretcher rolls, wheels rattling across concrete. Sarah's voice. "I'm riding with him. Mom, please keep Tommy." The ambulance doors slam, everything moving. An IV needle slides into his arm. Blood pressure cuff squeezes. Someone shines a light in his eyes. Pupils reactive but sluggish. Temps 104.2. "Jesus, what's that smell?" A paramedic cuts his shirt up the back, stops. "We got a serious infection here. Look at this." "What is it?" Sarah's voice, high and scared. The paramedic doesn't answer her directly, speaks into his radio instead. "Possible sepsis. Need an OR team standing by." The siren wails. Robert's consciousness flickers like a bad bulb. The last thing he hears is Sarah praying, "Please, God, please don't take him, not like this." Then darkness swallows everything. Fluorescent lights, antiseptic burn in the nostrils. Sarah sits in the orange plastic chair. ICU room 3 of Phoenix General, March 3rd, 3 p.m. Her father lies on the bed, tube down his throat, machines breathing for him. The ventilator hisses and clicks. 14 breaths per minute. She counts them. Dr. Park enters, chart in hand. His face carries that careful neutrality doctors wear when delivering bad news. "Ms. Mitchell, we have the culture results." Sarah stands. Her knees crack from sitting too long. "What is it?" "MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. It's already septic in his bloodstream." The words hit her stomach like ice water. She teaches 7th grade science. She knows what MRSA means, the survival statistics. "How bad? I need to show you something." The Park moves to Robert's bedside. "We'll need to turn him." A nurse helps roll Robert onto his side. Dr. Park lifts the bandage. Sarah's hand flies to her mouth. Where the pimple had been, a crater now exists. Black edges, yellow-green discharge seeping from the depths, the smell rotting meat mixed with something chemical. The wound spans the size of a tennis ball, necrotizing fasciitis. The Park says, "The bacteria is eating through the tissue layers. We removed what we could in surgery, but what?" "His kidneys are struggling. Creatinine levels are climbing. His blood pressure keeps dropping despite medication. We're fighting on multiple fronts." Sarah sinks back into the chair. "He's strong. He coached football for 35 years. The Park sets down the chart, pulls up another chair. The squeak of plastic on linoleum. "Ms. Mitchell, we need to discuss." "Preparations. Does your father have an advance directive?" "You're talking about." The words stick in her throat. "I'm saying we should be prepared for all possibilities. Is there other family we should contact?" "His brother in Texas." Sarah's voice sounds hollow, like it's coming from someone else. "I'll call him." The Park stands, pauses at the door. "The next 24 to 48 hours will be critical. If the antibiotics don't start working soon..." He doesn't finish, doesn't need to. Sarah watches the ventilator push air into her father's lungs. His chest rise, keels. The heart monitor shows 92 beats per minute. Too fast. Everything's too fast except time, which crawls. She pulls out her phone. Tommy's school. "Hi, this is Sarah Mitchell. Tommy's going to stay with his grandmother for a few days. Family emergency." Next call harder. Uncle Jim in Houston. Jim, it's Sarah. Dad's in the hospital. What happened? Infection. You should come. Silence. Then, that bad? Yeah, I'll get the first flight. 9 p.m. Sarah hasn't left the chair. A stack of construction paper appears from her bag. Tommy's get well cards. She reads them aloud to the unconscious form on the bed. Dear Grandpa, I hope you feel better. I saved you cake. Love, Tommy. Grandpa, Mom says you're sick. I drew you a dinosaur because dinosaurs are strong. 23 cards. She reads each one, her throat raw by the end. The hospital chapel is empty at 2 a.m. Sarah kneels on the threadbare cushion, the cross on the wall, just 2 pieces of wood, simple. Her mother died here 3 years ago, different room, same ward. Please, she whispers. He survived losing her. Don't let him leave us now. Tommy needs his grandfather. I need my dad. Please. The cushion leaves red marks on her knees when she finally stands. March 5th, 3:23 a.m. The alarm screams. Red lights flash above room 3. Code blue, ICU, room 3. Sarah jerks awake in the chair. Nurses and doctors flood the room. Someone pushes her toward the door. What's happening, Dad? Ma'am, you need to wait outside. The door slams. Through the window, she sees them working, barking orders. Someone pumping Robert's chest. The crash cart. Paddles. Clear. Robert's body jumps. Nothing. Again clear. Another jolt. The heart monitor stays flat. Epinephrine? Now. Sarah's legs give out. She slides down the wall, sits on the cold hospital floor. A janitor walks past, pushing a mop bucket. The wheels squeak. Normal sounds while her world ends. 20 minutes. 30. The door opens. Dr. Park emerges, sweat on his forehead, scrubs darkened with moisture. We got him back, but Sarah. He crouches beside her. His organs are shutting down. If there's anyone else who should be here. March 9th, 11:43 a.m. ICU room 3. Sarah's hand rests on her father's arm. The skin feels cooler today. Not cold, just less hot. She's been holding his hand for 5 days, talking to the unconscious form, reading Tommy's cards until the words blur together. Robert's index finger twitches. Sarah sits up straight, watches. Nothing. Maybe she imagined the finger moves again, a tiny curl against her palm. Dad, she squeezes his hand. Can you hear me? Move your finger if you can hear me. The machines beep steadily, then the smallest pressure against her palm. Nurse? Sarah's voice cracks. Nurse? He's responding. The day nurse. Beth hustles in, checks the monitors, shines a pen light into Robert's eyes. Mr. Mitchell, can you open your eyes for me? Robert's eyelids flutter. Don't quite open, but they move. Page Dr. Park, Beth says to another nurse. Tell him Mr. Mitchell is showing purposeful movement. Sarah leans close to her father's ear. Dad, I'm here. You're in the hospital. You've been very sick, but you're getting better. Tommy's okay. Everyone's okay. His head turned slightly toward her voice, eyes still closed, but tracking movement beneath the lids. Dr. Park arrives within minutes, performs a series of tests, foot reflexes, hand squeezes, pupil responses. He makes notes, face unreadable. We're going to try reducing the ventilator support, see if he can trigger breaths on his own. The respiratory therapist adjusts settings. Everyone watches the monitors. Robert's chest rises machine-assisted. Then, between the mechanical breaths, a smaller rise. His own effort. Good, Dr. Park says. Very good. March 10th, 2 p.m. Robert's eyes open, not all the way, slits, but they focus on Sarah's face. She drops the magazine she's been pretending to read. Dad? Dad, it's me. His mouth moves around the breathing tube. No sound. but Sarah recognizes the shape. Sarah. Tears run down her face. She doesn't wipe them. Don't try to talk. The tube. Just rest. March 11th. The breathing tube comes out. Robert coughs, gags, throat raw. Beth gives him ice chips. He can't hold the cup, hands too weak, but he opens his mouth like a baby bird when Sarah brings a spoon close. First word, without the tube, Tommy. He's with Mom. He's fine. Been drawing you pictures every day. Robert's eyes close, opens them again with effort. How long? 9 days since you collapsed. His forehead creases, processing. Sleep, Dad. Just sleep. March 12th. Uncle Jim sits in the corner. Flew in from Houston. Marcus stands by the window. Drove 15 hours from Dallas when Sarah called him. 2 more of Robert's former players in the hallway, taking turns visiting. Coach, Marcus says, moving to the bedside. You scared us. Robert's voice comes out scratchy. Marcus, you came. Course I came. You think I'd let my coach fight alone? Robert's eyes water. Marcus pretends not to notice, talks about his job, his kids, anything except the tubes and machines. Janet from church brings a Tupperware container. Soup, she says, for when he can eat real food. The room fills with cards, flowers, a signed football from the current Westfield team. Sarah reads the messages aloud when Robert's awake. March 13th, physical therapy. The therapist, a young man named Diego, helps Robert sit up. The effort leaves Robert gasping, sweat beading on his forehead. Heart rate's too high, Diego says. We'll try again tomorrow. But Robert grabs the bed rail, pulls himself straighter, stays upright for 30 seconds before collapsing back. Stubborn, Sarah mutters. Heard that. Robert croaks. March 14th, 8 p.m. Sarah plays a video on her phone. Tommy appears on screen, wearing his Superman pajamas. Hi, Grandpa. Mom says you're getting better. I'm being good. I brushed my teeth and did my homework. I saved your piece of birthday cake in the freezer. It has the corner piece with extra frosting you like. Robert reaches for the phone. His hand shakes, but he touches the screen where Tommy's face smiles. Can I talk to him tomorrow? Sarah says. The park says tomorrow you can try FaceTime. Robert nods, closes his eyes. When Sarah thinks he's asleep, she hears him whisper, "Thank you." She's not sure if he's talking to her or to God. The night nurse checks his surgical site. The smell has changed, less rot, more antiseptic. The edges look pink instead of black. Healing, the nurse says. But then she frowns, peers closer at something that Sarah can't see. March 15th. Recovery ward, room 201. The parallel bars stretch 8 feet, might as well be 8 miles. Diego, the physical therapist, positions Robert's hands on the cold metal. Wait through your arms first. Let your legs remember. Robert's biceps shake before he's fully standing. His knees buckle. Diego's arms catch him around the waist, hold him up. The contact burns with humiliation. Again, Robert says through clenched teeth. Your heart rate, again. This time, he makes it upright. The room tilts left, then right. His vision grays at the edges. 3 seconds, 4, 5. His arms give out. The wheelchair catches him. Diego checks his pulse, frowning. That's enough for today. No. Robert grips the wheelchair arms. Once more. Mr. Mitchell. I coached kids through torn ACLs and broken ribs. I can stand for 10 seconds. Diego crosses his arms. Those kids were 17. You're 58 and recovering from sepsis. Your muscles have been eating themselves for 2 weeks. The words land like punches. Robert turns his face to the window. March 18th. The wound care nurse arrives at 10 a.m. Robert knows the routine now. Roll onto his stomach. Bite down on nothing while she peels back the bandage. The adhesive pulls at raw skin. Then comes the saline irrigation cold liquid flooding the crater in his back. She has to debride the dead tissue, scraping with what looks like a tiny spoon. The pain shoots down his spine, across his ribs, into his jaw, where he clenches it shut. Tears soak into the pillow. He doesn't make a sound. "Almost done," she says. The same thing every day. Fresh packing goes in, gauze soaked in antibiotics pressed deep into the wound, then new bandages, tape, and he can breathe again. "You're healing well," she says. "The infection's gone, just healthy tissue now." Healthy, Robert almost laughs. He can't walk 10 feet without a walker, can't shower without a chair, can't even wipe himself without exhaustion setting in. March 20th. Sarah brings Tommy for his first visit since the collapse. Tommy stops in the doorway. His eyes are dart from the IV pole to the monitors to the walker beside the bed. "Hey, buddy," Robert says, his voice still raspy. Tommy takes one step in, another, stops 3 feet from the bed. "It's okay," Sarah says. "You can hug Grandpa." Tommy shakes his head. What if I hurt him? The words slice deeper than any scalpel. Robert extends one arm. "Come here. Gentle hug." Tommy approaches, like Robert's made of glass. His small arms barely touch Robert's shoulders. Then he backs away quickly. "See?" Robert manages. "All good." But Tommy won't come closer by her again. March 22nd. Robert sits in the chair beside his bed, staring at the walker. The physical therapist is late. Or maybe Robert's early. Time blurs in hospitals. The door opens. Not Diego. Marcus walks in, filling the doorframe with his ex-linebacker build. "Coach, you drove from Dallas again. Had to see you walking. Diego says you're giving him hell." Robert looks at his hands. Thin now, veins prominent, old man hands. "Can barely make it to the bathroom." Marcus pulls up the visitor's chair, sits. The plastic creaks under his weight. "Coach, you remember my senior year after I tore my shoulder? You missed 3 games. I missed more than that. I missed my shot at a scholarship. Got angry, started drinking." Robert watches Marcus's face. "Got bad? Coach, real bad. My mom found me passed out in the garage with the car running. Not an accident." Robert's chest tightens. "You know what saved me? I remembered what you said after every loss. Get up, always get up. Even when everything in you wants to stay down." Marcus leans forward. "You taught me that, Coach. Now I'm 5 years sober. Got a job, a family. Because you taught me to get up." The room goes quiet, except for the monitors beeping. "So, you're gonna get up too," Marcus says. "Not for you, for Tommy, for Shrek, for kids like me who need to know that getting up is possible." Robert reaches for the walker. His hands grip the rubber handles. Marcus doesn't help, just watches as Robert pulls himself to standing. 1 step, 2, 3. His legs shake. Sweat runs down his back, stings the healing wound. But he takes another step. "That's my coach," Marcus says quietly. March 25th. Robert makes it to the nurse's station and back. 42 steps each way. The nurses clap when he returns. That night, he writes in the notebook Sarah brought. His handwriting's shaky, but readable. Walking tomorrow, real walking, no matter what it takes. He sets down the pen, looks at his legs under the hospital blanket. Tomorrow. Diego mentioned something about stairs. April 15th, 3 p.m. The hospital garden. Robert sits in the wheelchair, even though he can walk now. Dr. Park insisted. Something about conserving energy for the conversation. Phoenix General's garden is mostly concrete paths and desert plants. A few mesquite trees offer patches of shade. Dr. Park sits on the bench across from Robert. No white coat today. Just slacks and a polo shirt. Off duty. "You wanted to talk," Robert says. Dr. Park leans forward, elbows on knees. My father almost died when I was 32. Heart attack at his restaurant, 61 years old. Robert watches a hummingbird dart between the desert willow blossoms. Korean immigrant, never took a sick day in 40 years, never admitted weakness, never asked for help. Dr. Park's voice carries no judgment, just fact. The heart attack happened because he ignored chest pain for 3 weeks, said it was indigestion. He survived. Barely. Triple bypass. But that's not the point. Dr. Park straightens. After surgery, he cried. First time I ever saw him cry. He said he'd been so focused on being strong that he forgot strength sometimes means knowing when you're weak. Robert's hands grip the wheelchair arms. The metal warms under his palms. Your body didn't fail you, Mr. Mitchell. You fought a battle most people would have lost. Your body fought MRSA, one of the deadliest bacteria we know, and won. I almost died from a pimple. No, you almost died from pride. Dr. Park stands. The pimple was just bacteria. The pride is what kept you from getting help. The words sit in Robert's chest like stones. Dr. Park starts walking back toward the building, then stops. My father lived 18 more years after his heart attack, saw grandchildren born, taught them to make kimchi. Those 18 years only happened because he finally learned to say, I need help. Robert sits alone in the garden. The hummingbird returns, hovers near his face, wings beating invisible fast. Then it's gone. April 10th. Sarah brings a yellow legal pad and a pen. You sure about this? Dad, I need to write it. She sets up the bedside table, adjusts it so Robert can reach without straining. He grips the pen. His handwriting looks like a child's, but the words come, Dear Tommy, Grandpa needs to tell you something important. I'm sorry I scared you at your birthday party. That wasn't supposed to happen. I got sick from something very small, a tiny bump on my back, like a mosquito bite. But I didn't tell anyone about it. I thought I was tough enough to handle it alone. That was stupid. Being strong doesn't mean never needing help. Real strength is knowing when to ask for it. When you fell off your bike last summer, you cried. Remember, that wasn't weak, that was honest. You showed me your scraped knee and let me clean it and put on a bandage. I should have been like you. I should have shown someone my hurt and asked for help. In the hospital, I learned something. I couldn't get better alone. I needed doctors, nurses, your mom. You, even your drawings helped me fight. We're not supposed to do hard things alone. That's why we have families. That's why we have friends. Sometimes Grandpa forgets this. I spent so many years teaching football players to push through pain that I forgot pain is sometimes a message. It means stop, get help, let someone else be strong for a while. You saved me, buddy. Your videos, your pictures, your mom telling me about your days. They gave me reasons to fight when my body wanted to quit. I'm going to get all the way better. But I'll have a big scar on my back. When you see it, I want you to remember that scar means Grandpa learned something important. Everyone needs help sometimes. Everyone, even coaches, even grandpas, even you. When you're older, never be too proud to say, I need help. Those might be the 3 strongest words anyone can say. I love you more than all the footballs in Texas. Grandpa? Robert sets down the pen. His hand cramps from the effort. Sarah reads it silently, tears rolling down her cheeks. Should I give it to him? Tomorrow, after he sees me walk to the parking lot. April 18th, discharge day. Robert signs the papers with a steady hand. The wheelchair sits in the corner. He won't need it. Diego arrives for the final check. Let's see that gait. Robert walks the hospital corridor. No walker, no cane, slow but steady. His back pulls with each step, the scar tissue tight. but he's vertical, moving forward. The volunteer coordinator called, Sarah says, matching his pace. About the MRSA awareness program. They want you to speak next month. Tell them yes. You sure if my stupidity saves one person from this? He gestures at the IV bruises, still purple on his arms. Then maybe it meant something. They reach the elevator. Robert presses the button. His reflection in the metal doors shows a different man than 2 months ago. Thinner, older looking, but something else too. Something in the eyes. The doors open. Inside, a young man with a Cowboys jersey holds the door, probably mid-20s. He's got a bandage on his neck, red, seeping through. That looks infected, Robert says, before he can stop himself. The young man shrugs. It's nothing, just an ingrown hair. Here, Robert and Sarah exchange glances. The fluorescent lights burn through Robert's eyelids, that antiseptic smell, the tube in his throat. He can't move, can't speak, but he can hear Sarah's voice close to his ear. Dad, please, you have to fight. Marcus drove all night from Dallas. He's in the waiting room with 15 other boys you coached. They won't leave. Her hand squeezes his, tight, desperate. Remember when Mom died? You told me we don't get to choose when people leave, but we get to choose how we love them while they're here. Well, I'm choosing, Dad. I'm not leaving this room. Wetness on his hand, her tears. Tommy asks about you every hour. He made you 21 pictures, one for each day. He counts them every morning. The ventilator hisses. His chest rises without his control. Dr. Park says the antibiotics might be working. The infection markers dropped a little, just a little. But it's something. Her voice cracks. I need you, Dad. I can't do this alone. I know you think you failed us by getting sick. But you didn't. You're human, that's all. Just human. Through the fog of medication and fever, Robert feels something shift. Not his body. Something deeper. The walls he's built for 58 years. Brick by brick. They're crumbling. Come back to us. Dad, please. He wants to squeeze her hand, wants to tell her he hears her. But the darkness pulls him under again. August 15th, 2024, 6 a.m., Robert's apartment. The alarm clock reads 6:00, but he's been awake for 10 minutes. Old habits? He sits up slowly. The scar tissue pulls across his back. Every morning, same sensation. His body's permanent reminder. The home gym stays mostly unused now. 20 push-ups, that's all. His cardiologist's orders, 20 push-ups, a 30-minute walk, stretching, no more punishing his body into submission. Breakfast at Sarah's, new routine. He drives over 3 mornings a week, arrives as Tommy's eating cereal. Grandpa. Tommy launches himself at Robert's legs. No hesitation anymore. The boy learned his grandfather won't break. Easy, linebacker. But Robert's arms wrap around the boy, hold him close, breathing in that little kid's smell of soap and sleep. Sarah sets a plate in front of him. Scrambled eggs, wheat toast, orange juice. She doesn't ask if he's hungry, just feeds him. They've moved past pretense. Mrs. Rodriguez asked if you're still speaking at the hospital next week. Sarah says, Tuesday at 2. Nervous. Robert spreads jam on his toast, talking to sick people about almost dying. What's to be nervous about? But his hand trembles slightly. Sarah notices, doesn't comment. After breakfast, Robert and Tommy throw the football in the backyard, not the bullets Robert used to fire, soft spirals that Tommy can catch. The boy's getting better, hands steadier. Grandpa, why do you hug me so much now? Robert catches Tommy's wobbly throw, holds the ball, considering, because I can't. That's weird. Yeah, it is. They keep throwing until the sun gets too hot. August 31st, Sarah's backyard again. Same picnic table where Robert collapsed 6 months ago. New birthday party. Sarah's 33rd. The Park sits at the table, off duty, drinking beer from a bottle. Marcus beside him, laughing at something Mike said. Uncle Jim flew in from Houston. Janet from church. Karen, the nurse who probably saved Robert's life by calling 9 so fast. Robert stands to speak. No one asked him to. He just needs to. 6 months ago, I ruined Tommy's birthday party. Nervous laughter. Tommy pipes up, "You didn't ruin it, just the cake." Fair point. Robert looks at the faces around the table. I spent my whole life teaching boys to be tough. Push through pain. Never show weakness. Never quit. He pauses. The scar tissue pulls as he breathes deep. Took almost dying to learn that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is admit you can't do it alone. Dr. Park raises his beer to second chances. To stubborn Texans who finally learned to ask for help, Sarah adds. To Grandpa not dying, Tommy says, which makes everyone laugh and cry at the same time. The sun sets behind the mountains, painting the sky orange and pink. Robert sits back down. Tommy climbing onto his lap without asking. The boy's weight feels good, solid, real. Sarah brings out the cake, chocolate with vanilla frosting. She lights the candles, 33 of them. The flames dance in the evening breeze. "Make a wish, Mom," Tommy says. Sarah closes her eyes, blows. The candles go out in one breath. Robert doesn't ask what she wished for. He knows. Same thing he thinks every morning when that scar tissue pulls across his back. Same thing that replaced his old morning prayer for strength. Thank you for another day. Tommy leans back against Robert's chest. Grandpa, your heart sounds loud. That's because it's working, buddy. Good. Keep it working. I'll try. The party continues as darkness falls. Lights strung across the patio come on. Someone puts on music. Marcus tells stories about high school football that make Robert sound like a legend. Robert corrects him, tells the truth how scared he was before every game, how he threw up from nerves his first day coaching. You never told us that, Marcus says. You never needed to know. Now you do. Later, after everyone's gone home except family, Robert helps Sarah clean up, his hands steady with the dishes, his breathing easy. Tommy's asleep on the couch, mouth open, one arm hanging off the side. Robert covers him with the Afghan Margaret crocheted years ago. Dad, Sarah says quietly, you okay? Robert looks at his daughter, really looks. She has her mother's eyes, that same mix of toughness and tenderness. Yeah, he says, I'm okay. And for the first time in his life, it's completely true. We tell ourselves we're strong enough to handle everything alone. I did for 58 years. Coached hundreds of boys to push through pain, never show weakness, never ask for help. Then a pimple, something so small I could barely see it, nearly killed me. Not the bacteria, really. My pride almost killed me. The refusal to admit I needed help. MRSA doesn't care about your coaching record or how many push-ups you can do. But here's what saved me: people who wouldn't let go. Sarah reading Tommy's drawings to my unconscious body. Marcus driving 15 hours to remind me of my own words. To Park sharing his father's story. The mercy of strangers who become family when you're vulnerable enough to let them. This scar on my back isn't my shame anymore. It's my teacher. Every morning it reminds me that we're all one small mistake from needing each other desperately. This story was inspired by real experiences with MRSA infections and created solely for entertainment purposes. The narrative does not condone, encourage, or promote any form of self-treatment for serious infections or delaying medical care. All characters and events are products of the author's imagination. Any resemblance to real people or events is purely coincidental. If you suspect any infection, please seek immediate medical attention